A lot of people inside the United States foreign policy apparatus are very worried that the reason so many countries now prefer China as the superpower with whom they deal rather than the United States is because the United States goes around the world throwing its military might around the world, threatening everybody, constantly involved in wars, and China doesn't. The last time China fought a war was in 1979, which was about a 1-month border dispute with Vietnam. And, there's that famous quote from an African leader that says, when the United States comes, we get a lecture and orders. When China comes, we get a hospital and a road. And it's kind of ironic that as the United States sees China making massive incursions into what had long been American areas of influence, part of the reaction is this kind of desperation, this backlash. And I think that's where a lot of this imperial tantrums are coming from Trump. We're going to kick China and Russia out of the region. Venezuela got too close to them. We're going to take Greenland. All of this is about the fact that when the United States perceives that its empire is in danger, it starts to become more aggressive. The irony, though, is that it's precisely this kind of unilateral aggression, this very arrogant posture in the world that we just do what we want. We could get away with that in the 90s when we were the only superpower into the 2000s. 9/11 created a lot of sympathy for the U.S. All of that's gone. You now have China and a more multipolar world, but certainly a bipolar world with China, and countries have a choice. And now Lula says things all the time like, my dream every day is a dream of de-dollarization. And it's not just Lula, but Saudi Arabia and India and the Chinese wanting to get out of this system where the United States has still this great weapon that nobody else has, which is the reserve currency of the international financial system, where they can choke off entire societies like they do with Cuba, Iran, Syria. They did with Syria. They're doing with Venezuela. And I think that it is this kind of paradox that as American empire becomes weaker and becomes threatened, you're going to see in the short term this much more aggressive imperial behavior, but ultimately that's just going to feed the cycle where the United States isn't going to have the ability to do that.